This particular video will deal with the personnel. I find this to be the most useful of all of the features in the Church Musician. Here's where you keep track of your individuals, you do the birthdays, the anniversaries, all the other details that you want to take care of and see that it works sufficiently. Notice the same icons up here that we've seen all along. The browse file, here's all that we have in this particular file. The positions, the ensembles. Now if you remember up in the tools, on the user side of it, you set up the ensembles that you're going to use. In this case, let's say we want to add an ensemble to Chuck's responsibility. Click the Add and drop down here, and let's say that he's going to sing in the Celebration Singers. And this is a choir, and he is a tenor in this choir. All right, the third drop-down tab are for solos. If you have a large choir and would like to keep samples of voices so you can hear the qualities, you can create a WAV file and bring this in to this particular area. And then hear the sample when you're comparing voices or putting voices together. The personnel data, well, I don't know that we need choose gum here. Let's get rid of that. But the robe size, the height, the robe number, all of these details that you need. On this particular tab, here's where you enter the various details on this particular person. Let's say his wife is Janice, and he has Rick and Judy. And then he is the head of the household. All right, there we are. And he is in leadership position. He is the section leader. Now, these, of course, this is the instrument. Let's say that none doesn't play any instrument. But here I can edit any of these custom fields so that there are other specific fields you want for your ensemble members. You can put that in, well, let's say leader. And that way then when it comes up, you can put in here he's leader of a small group or whatever. You have 5 different slots here that you can name and then keep track of various functions that are not in the stock program. Of course, this is important for birthdays and anniversaries, and I'll show you why in just a moment. You've noticed that there are pictures in many of the files for the personnel. Well, let's show you how to get them in. We'll click on the blank spot where the picture goes, go over to Edit, and Insert Object. We're going to get it from a file. Now it's not in this file, so we'll have to look for it. What I do is usually put all the pictures in one file. In this case, we'll browse and go to my documents, and then I've got a file here called My Pictures. We'll look at those, and I think I've got oh, here's a picture. This looks like Joe Blow, doesn't it? So I click on that, and there he is. Click on the blank, go to Edit, insert an object, find the object, click on it, say OK, and there's your file. Next thing we're going to look at are some of the reports that you can get from the personnel file. Of course, you have the simple search, and you can search by first name, last name. If you want to search by first name, double click on it and their first name, so you don't have to use your drop down tab here. But there's another section for reports, and let's look at that. Up here on the personnel again, we'll go personnel reports, and let's just get a complete report. Say report and process. Here we have a picture directory of our entire personnel listing. Of course, we can do this by choir. Another is simply a listing, and again we're doing all, but we can do it by section. And here's the listing with all the information without the picture. And then of course we can do it with barcodes or with labels, however you would like. And of course you can select by ensemble, and you can select by section if it's a choir itself. So that's another report. Looking here again at the personnel reports, here's a way to create labels. I already showed you that under this report, and here's one more where you can actually create a label in a different way. Now let's look at the anniversary report. This saves you time to know those special days. And here are the anniversaries. Now obviously that's nearly a whole year, but you see what you have there. The same kind of thing. If we go for birthdays, we can do the same kind of report here. And again, we're going to go there. We would not normally do this, but just so that we can show it. I could actually do it for January, as you can see here. Here is another report that is quite important in terms of keeping track of equipment and that sort of thing. Let's get a complete checkout report here, and we'll just look and see who has what item. In this case, we just have a short list of checkouts, but this is a good way to keep track of things. How do you check things out? Well, let's go to equipment, for example, and let's check that flute out, and we add the checkout. Now here's all the listing of people that perhaps will want the flute. We'll just select one here, and there Renee has checked out this particular flute. Now one final thing, and that is barcodes for personnel. If we check here, click on the barcode item, and we can create barcodes for all records in this library. So let's do a listing of it. And here's the listing, the names with the barcodes. Now all we need to do is click on one of the barcodes, and we immediately pull up that particular person. Well, this pretty well gives you an overview of the many uses in the personnel file.